Rob Bresnahan, welcome back to the Bob Cordaro Show. How are you?
Bob, doing great. Just stepped out of a committee hearing to jump onto your show. Thanks for having me.
One of our listeners alerted me early this morning to this ridiculous article in the various rags here in Northeast Pennsylvania. Tell us about it. It says buying and selling. The subhead is Bresnahan campaigned on congressional stock trade ban. Now in office, he trades freely. Your response?
Yeah, that was an interesting one because I haven't done anything different than I've done my entire life. The last time I personally traded a stock, I was 18 years old. I set up a TD Ameritrade account. I got absolutely hosed. So I was, I have financial advisors, local financial advisors. I don't even know what they're trading, they're exchanging. I was a highway contractor. I was a real estate developer. And I trusted and still continue to trust the same people that made those trades. If you go back to my original PFD filing, you'll see the holdings in which I've been exposed to and where my positions are. I mean, the only time I got involved is when I saw the PTR report that came out through my financial advisor that we had a position in Alibaba. So I immediately picked up the phone and said, "Hey, what are we doing with this?" Insert advisor name
Alibaba
X.
being a Chinese company. Of course.
And I was told, they told me, Rob, this is an institutionally managed fund. This is everything that's in there. And I said, well, get rid of it. He goes, well, you'll have to liquidate the entire holding of all the various different positions if you want to just get rid of this. And I said, well, absolutely, get rid of it. And that's what we did. So, we put parameters on things, but it's not like all of a sudden I was elected to Congress and then became like this trading guru. Quite the contrary.
Now, it's not your trades are not in a blind trust or anything of that nature. They are, but you do your representative, your advisor, has the ability to trade on his own. Is that what you're indicating?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And we looked at even I don't even know a blind trust was a thing for this. Remember, I come from the private sector. I don't come from the state legislator and having to worry about people picking and choosing what I have and what I don't have. It's something that we're looking at if it's something that could be done. But it's also like, let me be clear here. It's not like I'm handing Chelsea, all this cash and then she's trading on my behalf. That's not the reality. I'm very forthcoming. You can log in at the end of every month and I have no problem. You can go on there and look and see what I have. Honestly, I don't even know what my implications were over the past few days of, the red that we saw in the market, but I don't trade my own stocks. And the last time I did, I was a kid.
Now, the point, obviously, that they're trying to make, and knowing where it comes from, I am highly suspicious, obviously. Knowing it's about you, I'm even more suspicious and figure it's bullspit. But they're saying that you have not proposed the law that you suggested you would about ending stock trades for Congress people.
Or there should be definitely limitations. Like, listen, if I'm in a sensitive hearing and I walk out and say, you got to sell company X because they're going to get defunded, well, you know what? Yeah, you should be in big, big trouble for that. And I would agree with it. And we are working. If there's something that I can just introduce, and I'm not sure every other member of Congress would be willing to do it, but I certainly would.
Okay. So sum and substance, you're saying, look, I did not buy and sell on information I've gleaned here in Congress. My advisor's doing my trading for me, and I am duly reporting it. Is that fair?
Absolutely.
Is that a fair summary?
Absolutely. I would right hand to God on my mother's life. Without a question. And honestly, you can go on Twitter. I find out about my holdings sometimes on Twitter. Like I'm not on a day by day, minute by minute. I meet with my financial advisor. We talk about, what different positions are coming up. And I actually even took it a step further. I'm in the process of exiting all of my pits in real estate because I don't want there to even be an inkling of improprieties that in the event if the city of Pittston is worthwhile of a federal investment, I don't want anyone anywhere suggesting that I am doing this for the betterment of myself. I left that all behind. I'm focused every day to fight to make life affordable again, to secure our border, and to protect our communities. That's what I'm doing every single day. And you know what? This is all noise because, you know what? They have nothing else to jump up and down and scream about.
Congressman Bresnahan is our guest. We're talking about the headlines in the local rags, the Times Tribune, the Citizens Voice, and the Hazleton Standard Speaker, which I call lovingly yesterday's news because they get yesterday's news and print it today. But this is the kind of thing that you've got to be prepared for, obviously. The Channel 16 imbroglio in which Chelsea, your fiance, had to leave. Had to leave Channel 16.
Well, you should have saw the clown show that they had at our Secretary of Labor. They had their clown show reporter hogged all the questions, trying, to advance his own agenda, to make it about their liberal bias. And you know what? I actually even said to him during the interview, I said, this sounds like the appropriate question coming from a station that would incorrectly air the election results a week before.
Yeah. Amazing stuff. Well, Rob Bresnahan, we appreciate you coming on and clarifying this. They're going to use it. And your opponents are going to use this headline. That's the disgraceful thing. They're actually going to use this
everything they're doing is because they have no other message to run off of, and that's what it's all. They're trying to paint me as this embroiled, like I'm insider trading, which is such BS, Bob. It's bullshit. That's your words. Yeah. I mean, there's been nothing different from what I did before I came into office to after I was elected, and everything is transparent. I've always believed that the cover-up is worse than the crime. If I was hiding or dancing around, and sometimes I would believe that a blind trust could even be worse. Here's what I have, here's what they sell. It's all for the public to see and for all to know. There's no story here, but D-Trip needs to do what D-Trip does and pitch their smear campaign. So bring it on.
Well, the people who are on the left never had real jobs, and they don't understand real investors. They don't understand real business. And so all of this is foreign to them. So we've got to give them a partial pass.
Anybody who has a 401k, if you have a 401k and you have it doesn't matter what financial advisor you have, are you aware of every single time that they buy or trade or sell something with rebalancing of portfolios, whatever that may mean? No, nobody, I don't know that. I have a 401k. I have a Roth. Honestly, now that I'm a member of Congress, we have a 401k contribution. I don't even know where things are invested there.
Well, Rob Bresnahan, these are the same newspapers that have yet to ask Scranton Mayor Paige Cognetti not only about her failures as mayor, but is she running for U.S. Congress next time? And they haven't even asked yet. So that's where they're coming from.
That would be too much of a softball, Bob, to actually do real reporting.
Well, you hang in there. We appreciate you getting on top of this and keeping us informed, Congressman Bresnahan, and keep us informed of everything you're doing down there. We're here.
Those that have nothing to hide nothing, Bob. Thanks for having me on.
Amen. You have a good one. Rob Bresnahan, our congressman.